One day, I was actually in the field working, and it's right next to the Highway 32, which brings Chico and Hamilton together.
Right.
And family members were driving by, and they seen me, and I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" I waved, and then I thought to myself, I just took a moment. I was just looking around, and I was like, yeah, this has got to change.
Right.
5 o'clock in the morning is just not for me, man. And I thought to myself, hey, I could do more.
This is Small Business Celebration. Welcome, where we're celebrating small businesses for big breakthroughs. Welcome to Small Business Celebration, and our guest this week is Dax Chavez, the owner of AJ's Tuxedo Junction. Welcome to Small Business Celebration.
Thank you.
And for visionaries who don't know who you are you, and what is it that you do?
I'm Dax Chavez. I am the owner and proprietor of AJ's Tuxedo here in Bakersfield, California, 2527 F Street, downtown, right next to Casey's Steakhouse and Slice of Italy. Been here for 1972, not myself, but my father-in-law started the business in 72, and we're still rocking and rolling, man.
For visionaries who've never been here before, and I think there's like 3 of them. Because everybody,
new guys.
Yeah, exactly. Because you say tuxedo, and we're thinking like James Bond. The classic black tuxedo dinner jacket or the white dinner jacket. And tuxedos come in a whole wide variety of different looks nowadays, don't they?
Oh, definitely. The big thing is now is having multi-uses.
Really?
So yeah, like Michael Kors, Ralph Lauren, they're kind of going towards being able to use it as a tuxedo or a suit.
Really?
So yeah. The high shine lapel is usually your key indicator for a tuxedo.
Right.
But they're trying to get away from that so that you can use it as a suit or a tuxedo at any time or any kind of event.
And that makes perfect sense because I myself have the tuxedo, and good thing there's plastic around it because it's collecting a lot of dust.
Exactly.
I think the last time I wore it was for a friend of mine's wedding like 2 years ago.
And that's what I tell people all the time is like, come in, rent a new style, or else you're going to be the guy with the same suit at every party. And then, at the same time too, if you buy it, then it's going to just spend a lot of time in your closet.
Right.
Make it through the holidays. Hey, you might gain weight, a little weight, might lose a little weight, you never know.
Or you become like those two from the movie Dumb and Dumber.
Right.
You've got the suits and the tuxedos that
nobody's
wearing.
It's like, hey, that's high fashion for you.
For 1970 something or other.
Exactly. You don't want to be that guy. Don't be that guy.
Right.
Come to me and I'll suit you up.
You didn't grow up in the business.
I didn't, no.
Yeah, because you grew up in Chico?
Yeah, Northern California.
What were you doing in Chico? Because Chico's a great town, it's a great farm town. A lot of ways it's a lot like Bakersfield.
Yeah, it is a lot smaller, especially back then.
Right.
But it is pretty similar to Bakersfield. Agriculture, small town feel, got the big college there, party school kind of vibes at times.
Right. What were you doing in Chico, and how'd you end up in Bakersfield?
Okay, so that's kind of a
back in 1943.
Exactly. I met my wife in Chico when we were going to college, and I was going to beauty college. She was going to beauty college, and we met at Foster Freeze of all places.
Right.
I always tell her it was love at first sight, but she promptly responds as, "No, it wasn't."
Maybe it was love at first sight for you.
Exactly. I'm talking for myself here, But and we met, went to school. Next thing you know, we get married, buy a house in Chico, doing good, have our own careers. Started building a family, and I've always known that her dad was here in Bakersfield as the tuxedo guy.
Right. And you do yourself too little credit on this because when you met her, you were working in the fields.
Yeah. Well, that was my first job.
Okay.
Growing up in Hamilton City, which is right in between Chico, California, and Orland.
Right.
It's a little small town. Farming, agriculture.
Right.
That's what we had the big Holly Sugar company.
Right.
Hey, you had two options. You want to go work at the fields, or want to go work at Holly Sugar. And you couldn't work at Holly Sugar until you're over 18. I think it was 18 or 21, something like that.
Right.
So yeah, that was my first choice, is going to the fields, because my brothers kept giving me hell because I wasn't working, and they were always the ones getting hauled off by my dad to go work in the field, trim orchards, pick olives, stuff like that. So yeah, I thought that was the way. And,
What changed?
One day, I was actually in the fields working, and it was right next to the Highway 32, which brings Chico and Hamilton together.
Right.
And family members were driving by, and they seen me, and I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" I waved, and then I thought to myself, I just took a moment. I was just looking around, and I was like, yeah, this has got to change.
Right.
5 o'clock in the morning is just not for me, man. And I thought to myself, hey, I could do more. I'm not taking anything away from the farm workers and those guys that are out there every day, feeding America. It just wasn't for me. I was just like, I got to do more.
Right.
For some reason, something pushed me to go push yourself, do more, do something with yourself.
And what was that?
And it turned into going to work for Foster Freeze and talking to people and just getting into that hustle of the small introduction to restaurant business, but it was fast food. But yeah, it was a good experience, a great experience. I met my wife there, so can't go wrong.
After you got married to your lovely bride, her father-in-law offered you the business.
Yeah. Out of nowhere, I was working at a Corian factory,
right?
Because I didn't pursue the salon industry at that time. My wife was working in sales, in salon sales, and we were doing great. We were not thinking about anything of moving to Bakersfield of all things. But he offered the business in Fresno, and it just wasn't the right time for us.
Right. And then you got into the salon business and sales.
Yeah, my wife had a couple of surgeries with her back and wasn't able to do it anymore. And I was like, well, it's a lot better than than working at Corian and breaking my back.
Right.
I've always been good with people, talking to people.
What did the sales part of that teach you?
A lot of no's.
Yeah.
You go into places, a lot of no's. You got to go back. And the great thing, I had the opportunity to learn from a lot of people that come in and teach us, sales strategies and how to work with customers. So, it was priceless.
And then something changed, and your father-in-law offered you the business.
Yeah.
Again.
I was in between jobs.
Okay.
My mom had just passed away, and I was either going to start my own distributorship, my own business
in the salon,
salon sales, get a couple products here and there and start my own business. And he gave the call and he was like, come and get it. If you want it, it's yours. I'm like, all right, let's do this.
So you packed up the family, moved to
Backed up the family and moved to Bakersfield. Yeah. Yeah.
And that was how many years ago?
That's been almost 12 years now.
What kind of products and services can business owners get from AJ's Tuxedo for their business, for personal life? What kinds of things can you offer
Well,
them?
definitely suits. If you need suits,
Right.
we could definitely offer that. We offer, like I do for Casey's Steakhouse or other restaurants around the neighborhood in the area. Shirts, like tuxedo shirts, if they're still wearing the tuxedo shirts. They definitely do.
Is it the T-shirt that's got the tuxedo printed on it?
No, it's the ruffles, or the pleats and the non-collar, traditional, like almost like just like the Western look kind of they got going on over at Casey's Steakhouse.
Sure, and the tie and the cummerbund, the
Yeah.
whole 9 yards.
They wear a skirt and high socks,
Sure,
make it look nice.
And with that, let's go ahead and get into our first Visioneer question. And this Visioneer question is courtesy of Mike Saba, a Zillow Premier Agent with Watson Realty, selling Bakersfield homes since 1992. Give Mike Saba a call at 661-203-8406 or reach him at mikesaba1@icloud.com today. And Visioneer Bianca from Shafter asks, we're opening our second business in the clothing rental space, and we've noticed that only the chain stores have websites. And most of the independent stores use Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, and not a website. How are you marketing your business?
Exactly that way.
Yep.
When I first started, I thought, I need a website. Got phone calls every day. You guys know what I'm talking about. Every day you get phone calls, people from LA. Hey, I want to build your website, this and that. I'll take care of it, this and that. Never does. They build it. It's mumbo jumbo, it's craziness. It's like not what you want. It gets disheartening.
Oh,
really, you're just like,
You're always trying to maintain it.
As a small business, you want to make sure your money's going somewhere and it's being effective.
Right.
You don't want to waste your money, especially building your business in the beginning.
Right.
It's a hard lesson to learn. The great thing about us is that we've been around so long.
Right.
So it's generations that know about AJ's. A lot of times people come in and they're like, wow, you guys are still around?
Right.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, you're right. We are.
Right.
And they're like, it's generations. It's like, my kids came here. My grandparents came here. The way we do business could be a little different than a brand new business startup.
Right.
Because people do know who we are and where we're at and what we do. But still, I'm very active in the community.
How so?
I'm with the Bridal Association,
Okay.
the Downtown Business Association, and just trying to do stuff with local businesses, Toys for Tots. We just did a big trunk or treat.
Right.
Got all the businesses around here to get together, and we did a trunk or treat across the street, which was a great thing to do because there were so many kids. And that was our first year. And
Right.
next year is going to be even better because we got another more ideas as well.
So you're growing your business by being community active.
Totally.
That's where you're investing your advertising and advertising the promotion of your business.
For sure.
How are you using that as a gateway to invite other people to come in? Because it's one thing to go through and say, okay, we're doing the trunks for tots, and we're supplying the tuxedos for the people that are involved with that. What are you doing to entice the people who are involved with that, the volunteers and everybody else that's involved, to come into AJ's? What's that second step?
Second step, just communicating with them to what we have to offer, of course. But a lot of times, I don't offer, I don't talk too much about the business. I just talk about myself. You sell yourself. Because in sales, number one, you're selling yourself.
Right.
That's something I carry all the time is if they like you, then they're going to ask you, what do you do? What kind of products could I get from you? The questions you're asking is like, how could you help my business?
Right.
And then that's when you have a good relationship with somebody. Like other tuxedo places, these guys are corporations.
Right.
And you're not going to get the same hometown feel. The great people, they send business over here all the time for me because they can't do certain things that I could do, like same day rentals.
Right.
But I never have a problem with them. I always try to have a good relationship with other companies because it's just the way I am.
And when we come back, we're going to be talking about, congratulations, you've bought the business from your father-in-law. And then you get into it, and oh boy. If Visioneers want to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
Yeah, easy. Come on down to the store. If they want to come down to the store, 2527 F Street, call me, 661-325-2044, or get a hold of us on our Instagram, Facebook. It's AJ's Tuxedo, Bakersfield. Anytime, yeah.
And if you like Small Business Celebration, go ahead and like, subscribe, and notify, and we'll talk about taking over the family business, some of the pitfalls that Dax had to overcome when we come right back. With the dark winter cold, rats and ants are being pushed into your home. Stay comfortable in your home with a call to Oxley Pest Control at 661-325-2687. The professionals at Oxley Pest Control can install door sweeps and traps, keep those little critters out, and protect your greatest asset. Call Oxley Pest Control at 661-325-2687 or visit them at oxleypest.com. That's OXLEYPEST.com now. The reason I'm talking with Dax Chavez, the owner of AJ's Tuxedo Junction, is because of a Visioneer question that came from a Visioneer just like you. We had a Visioneer that wanted to find out, do I really need a website for my business? So if you've got a question, you've got a thought, something you'd like to learn about here on Small Business Celebration, reach out to us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. And your question could appear here on Small Business Celebration. So reach out to us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram today. Dax, when you finally bought AJ's Tuxedo Junction from your father-in-law, what prompted you to say yes the second time?
Just the opportunity. I was in the right space.
Yeah.
I was in the right. It was a good time. My wife, she didn't believe it. She
Yeah.
was like, she was not for it.
Because she grew up in the business.
She grew up in the business. She's not in the business, but like, just like not at all had a relationship really with her father.
Right.
So it was just foreign to her.
And she said, "What are you?"
And
nuts?
she was like, "What are you crazy? what are you trying to do here? You know?"
Right.
And we made it work.
But you were in for one big surprise.
Huge.
Here's the keys. Congratulations.
Right.
You now own the business. And
you are now a successful business owner.
He says, blurry-eyed. Well, what was it? What was the surprise?
The analogy I use is like the Titanic.
Okay.
I had 6 future tuxedos to be rented from August to the end of December to January.
6.
6. Not 6 in a wedding. 6.
6 suits.
Suits. Yes. And I said, okay, let's do it. I called my wife. I'm like, put on my, happy voice. Yeah, we're going to do great. We're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. We have winter formals coming up. We're going to do fine. And I got right into it. Made great friends with Mr. Tuxedo at the time.
Okay.
Carl, Mr. Tuxedo, was a great help to me. Showed me the ins and outs, who I should buy from, who I shouldn't buy from, what I should buy, what I should have in stock.
Because it sounds like with that advice, one of the things that you learned was the inventory you had was not acceptable.
No. I had shoes that the heels were falling off.
Yeah.
I had a quinceañera I had to go to because 6 shoes were falling apart and they were flapping in the wind on the bottom. Oh, yeah. Inventory was not good. It was not good. It was dated.
Was part of that reaching out to all the different schools, or how did you build up your book of business?
Definitely going out to the schools, doing that again. It seemed like he was still doing it, but it was inconsistent. And that's what happens when you leave your business and know exactly what's going in, what's coming out.
Right.
It just happens. He was in business for almost 50 years. He had his employees, and they're employees. You got to remember that. An employee is never going to be, the same commitment as an owner. It's just a lot of hard work. Right. You just got to go out there, plug in to good people. That's the big key. Sell yourself. Make sure you're presenting yourself well. The rest, just keep the doors open, man.
And that brings us to our second Visioneer question. This Visioneer question is courtesy of Mike Saba of Zillow Premier Agent with Watson Realty. Born, raised, and never left Bakersfield, he likes to say. Give Mike Saba a call at 661-203-8406, or you can reach him at mikesaba1@icloud.com today. And the Visioneer question comes from Chad from Chino, who asks, determination is the single biggest factor in building a business. What do you do when the well runs dry? Because you ran into this big time.
Right. And at the time, didn't really know, didn't really have a great relationship. Had a new relationship with a bank, and everybody knows what happens there. They're not going to lend you money. They're not going to.
They don't lend you money when you need it.
Yeah, exactly. They don't lend you money when you need it, but when you don't need it, they're everywhere.
Right.
Called my brother Hugo Chavez. He's still in Chico.
Right.
My best friend.
And not because he lent you money.
Not because he lent me money, but seriously, great guy. And said, hey, bro, I need help. He's seen the vision. He's seen I was committed. Lend me some money, and we turned it around. We survived the 3 months to January, because January is when wedding season better start, right. And definitely when proms and the formals are hopping. We survived, and we just kept going. And you just don't look back. Don't look back. Don't worry about the well running dry if you're going forward every day, because if you're going forward, that well shouldn't run dry.
When it comes to determination, this is literally a part of your DNA.
Yeah.
Because at one point you weighed how much?
Oh wow, I was close to 500 pounds.
500
Yeah.
pounds.
Yeah, living the good life, man.
That's a quarter of a ton.
Yeah, yeah.
And you weigh how much now?
I'm close to 300, 280 is my goal.
You have lost, it's like a whole person.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
And for those of us that, we're trying to lose 5 pounds ourselves.
5 tons.
Yeah, 5 or 10 pounds, yeah. Every time we smell pineapple or a Snicker bar or the double mocha chocolate latte or something, it seems like we gain and we can't resist that. How have you done this?
Determination.
Yeah.
It wasn't, my body really told me to stop. Diagnosed with diabetes and high blood pressure, hypertension, blood pressure. And my body said no more. I didn't want to be on 8 pills.
Right.
Going from 0 pills medication to 8 pills.
Wow.
Knowing people like my mom, my dad, my brothers, family members that take medication for their diabetes. And I didn't want to be that person taking the medication so I could still eat that same lifestyle and have high blood sugar. So I just thank goodness for my wife, because she's my dietitian, my doctor, my aide in life, and she just turned my life around. And since then, I've been able to stop taking my medication. Got my A1C under 7.
Congratulations.
And thank you. And my blood pressure is still a little high, like 150, but I take medication for that. But 1 pill is a lot better than taking 8, 9 pills. And I didn't want to be that guy. You go out that door and you smell the chicken from next door and take 2 steps this way and you smell the steak over here. You know, it makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up.
Right.
But
how do you
just don't go. Just don't go.
Okay.
Just don't do it. Just like, instead of the Nike logo, just do it. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Just don't do it.
When you're not here, what do you like to do for fun?
We enjoy going to Pismo. I visit my daughter down there. She's a teacher, Santa Maria County.
What grade?
I think their kids are from 1st grade to 5th. She teaches kids with disabilities. So
Okay.
Yeah. So she's awesome.
Sure.
But, we go down there a lot. We go visit my son. He's going to college in Sierra College and pursuing a baseball career.
Good.
And a business major.
Oh,
Double
good, yes.
Yeah. So so we go down there. We still have a house down there and go down there as often as we can.
Right.
But yeah, I just spending time with family, knowing that the work that you do to keep the place open, to keep things keep the business prosperous. You're doing it for somebody, for them, for yourself, for your family. It's nothing better. That's what small business is all about.
What has making these trips up and down the state to visit your kids and spend time with them, what has that taught you that you've applied to your business?
To know that I can do it. To know that you can do it. To be able to close the door and be like, hey, I'm going to take some time off, and it's not going to kill the business. It's not going to be the end of the world. Telling your wife, hey, I can't go with you to wherever, to a vacation spot or something, because we have to stay at the business.
Right.
Don't let that be, don't let the business be a negative.
Right.
Because if it turns into a negative, and then it's just like a job, and working for somebody else is just like, why?
Sure.
Because really, the reason we all do this is because the best boss in the world is you. You're going to be the best boss for yourself and for your family, and than any other person could ever be. And that's why we do it. We go into it because we want to be independent. We want to blaze a course for ourselves, and that's what I feel like we've done because of all the hardship that we did have in the beginning. Straightened out that Titanic, and we're going forward.
Dax, this has been a real treat. Thank you for joining us here on Small Business Celebration.
Thank you for having me.
And if Visioneers want to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
Yeah, like I said, come on down, 2527 F Street, right next to Casey's Steakhouse. Phone number is 661-325-2044. Or get a hold of us on Instagram, Facebook,
At
AJ's Tuxedo Bakersfield.
And I'll be right back with my final thought. Hello, Visioneers. Sasha and I are here to talk about, we've got a new season of Small Business Celebration coming up, and we're looking for ad sponsors. Isn't that a great idea so we can grow and expand what we're doing for Visioneer Nation? Yeah, he thinks so too. So if you've got a business, you've got a service that you like to promote to Visioneer Nation, reach out to us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram today. Leading to resilience. Earlier this week, I was talking with a Visioneer, and she asked me, Michael, why is it that every single episode you ask your guests about their failures? Don't you realize all we want to hear about is their successes and how they made it in this world? And I smiled and I looked at her and I said, well, we do it for two very important reasons. The first is this gives the guest the ability to say, yeah, don't stamp on this landmine. It's going to blow your legs off. Don't do that. But there's also a second very important reason, and it's to give you hope. You see, we as business owners, it can be a very lonely business being at the very top, and every day you're confronted with questions and thoughts and ideas and a lot of self-doubt whether or not you're going to be able to succeed or make the right decision on anything. And to listen to other business owners who have said, yeah, I have screwed up more ways than you can possibly imagine, gives us all inspiration and lets us know, yeah, if they can do it, we can too. After all, like the old quote says, failure leads to acceptance, and acceptance leads to resilience. I hope you enjoyed our conversation this week with Dax Chavez, the owner of AJ's Tuxedo Junction, and I hope you learned something that you can use today to grow a strong and profitable business, and we'll see you here again next week when we celebrate another small business making a big breakthrough. By the way, what's the difference between a man in a tuxedo riding a bicycle?
Where's this going?
But a man in a tuxedo on a bicycle and a man on sweatpants and a t-shirt on a unicycle.
What?
His attire.
Oh my gosh. His attire. Great. Good. And that's the way it's going to go.
and why can't a tuxedo ever be made out of plastic?
Why?
It's unsuitable.
Unsuitable. All right.
Ba-da-bum.
We'll be right back, folks.
Shall we start?
I'm going to choke Michael right now, so we'll be right back when he recovers.
Good thing there's a big table here.
Right.
Without long throwing distance, too. All right. Shall we?
No, we shall.
All right. So, welcome to Small Business Celebration. And our guest this week is